Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to another episode of Symphonic Rain. So, let's jump right back in. I headed toward the only train station in town, carrying my Fortell over my shoulder. Oh, oopsie. I forgot. Can't do that here. It was the only overland route connecting Piova, encircled by the ocean and mountains, to the outside world. I had no use for it myself, as I hadn't left this town in 3 years. If it wasn't to pick up Fal or Ari, I would have never even come all the way to the station in the outskirts of town. When I arrived, it was bustling with people in front of the entrance. I could spot many who were similarly waiting for someone standing nearby the exit. The moment the train arrived at the platform, the exit would quickly overflow with homecomers, and many reunions would be made. I wondered if it would be like that for me as well. Just a little longer. I was paranoid about the time, just like I was when waiting for a certain important person. My heart danced at the thought of someone like Arietta coming out through that exit. I did my best to suppress those feelings, and took a number of deep breaths to calm myself down. I recalled a convenient passage from Ari's letter. "Chris, you should do whatever you feel is right." I knew how much of a lame excuse it would be. No matter what that may be. Well, excuse me. But I couldn't get those lines out of my head. "Sorry for the wait. Seems the train was delayed for a bit." That's okay, don't worry." "What's wrong?" "Nothing, just a little lost in thought." "Your habit, huh?" "Something like that." Fal looked a little tired to me. Traveling in a sleeper train must have been rough for a girl. She was holding 2 large, heavy-looking bags in her hands. I'll take that." "Are you sure?" "Thanks." "No problem. Shall we go?" I found out just how heavy her luggage was when I took one of the bags from her and slung it over my shoulder. The bag I carried was the bigger of the 2, so I hoped the bag she was still holding was at least a little bit lighter. "Are you tired?" "Huh? How so?" "You look it. I can't imagine getting a comfortable night's rest in a sleeper train." "I'm a little tired, though I did manage to sleep for a bit." "Want to cancel practice today?" "You just want to sit around doing nothing again today, don't you?" "That's not true. I could just tell from a glance that you were tired." "I see. Thanks." "I don't mind either way. It's up to you to decide." "Then..." Fal seemed lost in thought for a while. She had a pensive expression on her face, like she was consulting her own body. After a while, she regained her upbeat posture and replied with the expected answer. "Shall we practice?" "Sure, I figured you'd say that." "Got your Fortell?" "Yup." I pointed at the case at my feet. "Very well. Shall we go to school then, or somewhere else?" "I'd like to avoid school on a holiday." "But if we're going to your place, there would have been no need to bring it along. So I suppose that leaves my place?" If I remembered correctly, it was Fal who told me to bring my Fortell. She might have predicted that I would reject her proposal to practice at school. Just something that ran through my mind. I suppose it does. "Then let's go." Fal's cheerful expression never waned as she walked off. "Thanks for having me," I said as I entered Fal's room. There were 2 towels prepared at the front door, just like before. "You're welcome. Aren't I well prepared?" "Did you plan on coming here from the start?" "Not in particular. I'm just glad I didn't prepare it for nothing." I dried my hair and clothes with the fragrant towel. Fal had already gone further inside and produced some familiar-looking staff sheets from the bag she'd been carrying. "Did you bring those with you?" I had finished up with the towel. I folded it up and set it on the table. "Just so I wouldn't forget. Then again, I have it perfectly memorized, so I could recall everything without them, but... Maybe it's because I've been using them for so long, I somehow feel more at ease if I have them near me. Thanks to the many scribbles, one who saw these sheets for the first time would have a hard time reading them. They were pretty dirty. But to her, the scribbles written during the many practice sessions together were important pointers. They were a substitute partner in a way, which also explained why it was completely natural for her to feel at ease when she had them. I think I understand. So, why did you bring them out? Are you ready? I'll be done in a second, ma'am. Very well. Her voice sounded more bewitching than ever. I could tell just by listening that she hadn't forgone practice while she was gone. Not that I wouldn't take her word for it. I knew her well enough for that. As for me, I had been playing Fortell every day as well, so I hadn't lost my touch. On top of that, my rehearsal partner had been none other than Forney. It was like this slightly over a week of inactivity had never even happened. Above all, thanks to having been able to perceive Forney's voice from up close for a week, there was something I realized. Right now, I was able to feel that something that used to be missing from her voice. The thing that both Forney and she herself had realized was missing was now there. There was no doubt about it. I could feel the same profluent sound and atmosphere as I did when playing with Forney. What could have happened in the time we were apart? Had it been something the passage of time had naturally resolved? With those thoughts running through my mind, I unconsciously continued playing the Fortell. After finishing one piece, Val took a deep breath, as though exhaling the fatigue from her body. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Guess I was a little tired after all. Lacking the drive to push herself, she sat down on a nearby chair and took another deep breath. Despite her saying she was fine, I could clearly tell that she wasn't. As I was thinking of what to say next, Val beat me to it with a question. Hey, what did you think of my performance? Don't you know that best yourself? If I were to describe it in a single word, it would be superb. But it would kind of be silly for us to rate ourselves like that. In the end, the only people capable of giving a valid evaluation would be the listeners. What did you think of when you heard it, Chris? Promise you won't take it as flattery? That question is flattering on its own. I thought it was good. Val stopped laughing at my serious reply and began listening to me attentively. You mentioned once that you were missing something, didn't you? Yes. Were you able to sense that as well? You were able to sense that as well, weren't you, Chris? Most definitely, but just now I couldn't detect any of that. Seriously? I nodded silently. Any further words or embellishments would only serve to make it sound more like a lie. I used the sentence to convey the fact that I was completely serious. I see. I thought that rehearsing any more today might end up having a reverse effect. On that note, I began packing up my Fortell. Practice is suspended until tomorrow. Yeah, I suppose that's for the best. I'll have you know that I'm absolutely not saying that because I care to relax myself. Thanks. I only just got here, and we started practicing immediately, so I managed to finish my preparations to leave within seconds. I shouldered my Fortell and asked Val, who was still resting on in her chair, Hey, did something happen over there? It was meant to be a casual question, but Val's eyes went wide with surprise. It made it clear enough that something did happen, although I felt I shouldn't press her for details. Never mind. Anyway, rest up for today. We'll start again tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you off. There's no need, really, I replied, but Val had already gotten up and walked to the entrance. I quickly followed her and put my hand on the doorknob before she could. Up to here is fine. What shall we do about tomorrow's rehearsal? Let's see. Seniors no longer have private lessons this year. Noon? Morning, or so I'd like to say, but I'd feel bad for you. Around the same time, you had your private lessons with Miss Cordell. Would be fine. 10 o'clock, huh? I could agree with that. Don't be late. And speaking of Miss Cordell... Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. She did ask us to demonstrate our performance sometime. Yes, want to visit her tomorrow? Yeah, sounds good. Rest well today. Yes, sir. Our roles have been reversed, but Val consented. See you tomorrow. Just as I was about to turn the doorknob, Val let out a whimper, as though wanting to say something. Hey, can I ask you one thing? Sure. Do you think my voice is worthy? Worthy? Do you think I'll be able to become a professional? I let go of the knob for now and faced the girl head on. Noticing that, anger flashed across her face for a split second, and she cast her eyes downward. The anger didn't seem directed at me, but at herself. Never mind. Well, I'm not confident I can put this nicely, so I'll keep it simple. It is, and you will. You have the talent, and you have the qualifications. In closing, I added a smile and said to the silent, motionless girl, "See you tomorrow." After a short delay, Val broke a humble smile and answered, "See you tomorrow." Aww, that was so cute. Oh, my heart. Will you be coming home early? Probably. Her part-time job starts again today. She can't take days off? Apparently not. So that's why you're up so early. Exactly. Just perfect. Miss Cordell's private lessons have finally ended, and yet I still have to go to school before noon every day. You look happy despite that. Maybe. You admit it. I figured you would understand. Putting the personal aspects aside, on a musical level, I can't help but feel captivated by her talents. Sounds like a convenient excuse to me. Yeah, perhaps it is. But something changed in her voice. In such a short period of time? Maybe because the thing she was missing wasn't of the technical kind. So that has caused you to become even more captivated by her? I suppose so. Don't you feel guilty? I do, but right now I think this is the right thing for me to do. I see. Then there's nothing more for me to say. Sorry. Why apologize? Didn't you read Ari's letter? It said you should do what you feel is right. Yeah. Then practice hard and achieve a good result. Got it. Very well, see you later. Sometimes I would get confused about the nature of my relationship with Forney. Protector and protege was what I thought about, was what I thought about it back when I first met her. Forney was incapable of many things, not that she needed much in the first place, but whenever she did, like to go outside for example, she would require my helping hand. That's why I had seen her as a roommate to look after for. But in reality, she was probably the one keeping my mind healthy. As we just did, I would discuss my decisions with her. She would often support my views, which helped me remain confident. I could talk to her about things I would never be able to tell Torta or Asino. And since it took so long for a reply from Ari to arrive, I needed someone I could rely on in the meantime. I made my way through the unexpectedly crowded hallway and entered the practice room. Val was already there, sitting on a chair, fully prepared to begin. Good morning. Oh, good morning. About today's schedule. Right, down to business, huh? I just spoke with Miss Cordell. She'll come evaluate us at noon. And until then? We will rehearse, obviously. We need to get ourselves into the flow. We can't just dive into the real thing. I would die from anxiety. When you put it like that, I get a little nervous myself. It'll be good practice for the actual recital. Indeed. Okay, open up your score to the first page. Fal's fatigue from yesterday seemed to have completely dissolved. Her energetic demeanor put me at ease. It wasn't just her physical condition I had been worried about, but also what she'd said yesterday. However, it appeared she had returned to being the regular Fal. We finished the lunch Fal had made us in the practice room, then headed toward the lesson room where we had our appointment with Miss Cordell. Right on time. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. Thank you. No problem. You said you'd practice this morning, so I suppose vocal exercises aren't necessary. That's right. This'll mark the first time I've heard you two perform together. I'm looking forward to it. Please don't set your expectations too high. Don't worry, just do it like you always do. You're right. Look at that! Contrary to your words, it looks like you're confident after all. We have sort of been practicing after all. Not sort of. Okay then, anyway, let's hear it. Understood. Having completed our preparations, I rested my fingers on the keyboard of my Fortell and began playing the first notes. Oh gosh, here we go. It's been a while. Shoot. Dang it! Oh shoot, I think I messed up. We'll see. We finished the song. The final echoes of Fal's voice and my Fortell were absorbed by the soundproof walls. All right, I've heard enough. Miss Cordell's expression didn't change. It didn't go too well, huh? True. Are you nervous? I was, of course, but there was something else that had been weighing on my mind. It seemed that the change I had sensed in Fal's voice yesterday had all but disappeared again. Alright, you know what? This is the end of, I'm all out of time for this episode anyways. So next time, guys, I am going to go back and do it again because I accidentally pressed no rather than yes to, try and fix it. So I will go and fix it, and we will start from there again next time. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you haven't already subscribed, by subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!